Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope y'all had a great week. We're still getting situated here with Chloe. She's I got back, started getting set up, and she was running the glass like mad, so we had to get her out and get her doing some stuff. Let's see what we got going on so far. It's been a really busy week as usual. Man, it is. I don't know about you guys, but it is getting warm around here. I think it was in the 90s today, which was made for a fun morning. It was actually emptying out a koi pond this morning, and man, it was warm. It was even warm up in the mountains. Let's see. Yeah, and more of the same coming up. That should be fun. Yep. Oh, who do we got with us so far? Well, Mother is on. How are you doing? And Brandon, good to see you, man. Judd, hope you've been doing good. Hey, Nicole, what's up? Did I miss Kevin going live? Damn it. What was he talking about? I seen he posted something on Instagram with one of those big centipedes crawling up his arm. I guess he's trying to go for a record to see how many things he can get stung by in a year. Those things are pretty bad. Yeah, drink some water. That is true. Man, it's freaking dripping this morning out there working on that stuff. Oh, man. So he was showing off a bunch of animals. Cool. Yeah, I was really close tonight, man. God, I was feeling it. I mean, as you can probably see, I wear contact lenses, and always being around these animals every now and then, I get something in there, and it gets terrible. So, yeah, my eye's been giving me a lot of troubles today. Almost just went in here and closed this thing tonight and just canceled, but I was like, well, I think I can suck it up for an hour or two. And for those of you guys that are hanging out that might be new, this is Chloe. She's my lavender mainland retic, a baby, of course. And probably one of the most spoiled animals in the house. So she came to us in pretty bad shape, but she's doing a lot better now. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get lost in at times on the weekend, but I did that too. I mean, I was sitting here at 6:30 tonight, getting ready to go on to Facebook and say, okay, guys, live stream's canceled tonight. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. So here we are. So, hey, Laura, how you doing? Yeah, I know. It's terrible, and it's super friggin' annoying. I would much rather have a pulled muscle or a gunshot wound or anything other than the eyeball thing. But it is what it is. We'll suck it up and get through it. It'll pass in a couple days like it always does. You're just not going to let me focus on nothing, are you, you little brat? Hey, John, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Man, I caught that last video you did, and God, I can't remember exactly what it was you was talking about on it now. It was about a week ago, wasn't it? But God, what was it? I think you'd mentioned something about the light bands, and God, there was something else too. You're gonna have to remind me what that last video was about. I know it's pretty good stuff. see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, eye stuff is worse than tooth stuff. I'd rather have a toothache than this. I mean, at least with a toothache, you know, you can suck it out and go out in the sunlight and stuff and take pictures or whatever. Big snake stuff. It kind of sounds familiar. I'm trying to remember exactly. Like I said, man, I sat down and watched it, and then about 30 million things happened. I've been spending half the weekends up in the mountains out here. You guys had seen the video that I put out earlier in the week from the zoo up there at Allegheny. I'll be putting out some more stuff from there, but it's really a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of cool little animals to mess around with out there, and I mean, we can get a chance to get some good video and go over some different species of exotics, kind of broaden it out, you know, talk more about, you know, some other species other than snakes. There was actually a little water snake out there at the pond that was draining today. And unfortunately, I had to leave there a little bit earlier to get back here so I could get all set up. But I guess it was in there chowing down on the hatchlings in the koi pond, or in the pond out there. And would have been nice to catch him and do some wild caught snake handling stuff really quick. That's right. That's right. I remember now. He was talking about the Vans commercial where it was, had that emaciated ball python on there, using it as a advertising gimmick for their shoes, which was terrible. You know, I've had here over the course of the last couple of days, I've had one of our friends on Facebook here send me a couple links from some stuff that Jay Brewer has put out with his big retics, throwing them all in a room and getting bit up and all that stuff. And I am so tempted. I'm not really one that's quick to do call out videos, but I am really tempted to do a full video showcasing the dumbassery that he's putting out with his big snakes, you know, fighting them all the time and stuff like that. It's kind of upsetting when one of the biggest names in the industry, you know, makes our animals look like killers like that. I don't know. Like I said, I try to keep everything really positive here, but God, I really want to just go off and make like an hour-long call-out video on him, and see if we can get him to cool out with that crap. I don't think it will ever happen, but no, not talking about Chandler. Chandler gets some hate, but he's all right. He's young. He actually does pretty good. Of course, I did see where his Kevin, his big king cobra, had died, which was really sad. I know that he'd worked with that animal a whole lot and had him pretty manageable from what I'd seen. And at first, when I saw it, I was kind of freaked out because he had him, you know, it was just a picture of him sitting there with this 15-foot king cobra curled up in a coil on his lap. And I was like, okay, so now his cobra's a lap dog. But then I ended up reading down and finding out that the snake wasn't alive anymore. So that was a sad day. And I had some fun yesterday, actually. This is really good. I should have took a video of the reptile room downstairs yesterday, because my biggest snake, Monty, my 16, 17-foot retic, apparently I forgot to turn the lock on her enclosure Friday morning. So I get home from work on Friday afternoon. I go downstairs to check on the animals, and as soon as I get down there, man, first thing I step on a chair that's been thrown down in front of the stairwell, which is odd because that never happens. And I start to scan, and I look across the whole reptile room, and there's kind of like a Tyvek material covering the floor joists down there. Half of that was down. Ductwork was pulled down. Bins were down off top of one of the enclosures. My shelf for some of my tools on the tool bench side of the room over there, that was just completely destroyed. Crap down all over the middle of the room. So yeah, Monty had gotten out. So before I headed up to the mountains, I had to run down there, hurry up. First of all, I had to find her. And you would think in a small room like that, it wouldn't be difficult to find a 17-foot snake. But, I mean, I'm looking all over the place. The first thing that I thought was, oh, no, she got up into the floor joist somewhere, and she's curled up, and I'm going to end up having to rip stuff apart to find her. And so I start looking around all over the place. Ends up, she's sitting on top of Niall's enclosure. I turn around, and she's like right in my face, just looking at me. So we get to get her down from there and put her back, and made sure that I turned the key on the lock this time when I put her back. So yeah, a good takeaway from that is, and this is something that I always do, is, you know, if I've got big snakes like that, you need to have an enclosed room for them. So if they get out of their enclosures, they're still contained, you know. If you've got them set up someplace where they've just got free roam, you've got to be extra careful to make sure that you don't forget to turn a key or something like that in a lock. Because then, you know, of course they're going to do it when nobody's there to catch them immediately and put them back. But, you know, she is confined to the reptile room, of course. But, man, she made a mess. You know, what are you doing, Missy? Where's the rest of you? Somebody else wants to go on a walkabout here, too. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at here? Yeah, I think we was talking about... Yeah, it still goes back to talking about Jay. Some kind of two-headed snake where it's like... Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy just does not care about stressing the animals out at all. It's all fun and games. It's all for attention. Yep, the Monty walkabout. I mean, you could literally sit in a room there and look around and just see the path of destruction through there where she went. She's such a good girl, but it's another reason why I would really like to get moved at some point so that we can actually get a bigger spot here. I've got a better place for those guys, but we're still making do with what we got. Yeah. Yeah, she definitely did her remodeling in there. I've got a bunch of stuff to go fix. Oh, come on, you. Would you quit? I'm going to have to put her back in a minute. She's not going to sit still. Or even fake sitting still. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a... oh, man. Definitely not going to be a terribly long one today. I definitely wanted to make a point of getting on here, though. I wanted to at least get on and say hey to everybody. And do our regular stuff here for Saturday instead of just bailing. But where are you going? Oh yeah, my hognoses are still the same. They never actually my female hognose has calmed down quite a bit. She had a spell there where she was really, really hissy. And now she's getting a little bit more friendly here. The last few weeks when I went down there, she's been a little happier to see me, which is always good. Yeah. So we're gonna go over the USARK stuff really quick. I don't think anything new has come out outside of what we've already had going on. But let me get this up. And we've got, it's actually been solidified too. On August, it is August, right? Yeah. August 3rd is our next event. And I'm going to start putting some stuff out here. I did forget the USARK banner. Haha, you rock. Thank you so much, Nicole. I always forget stuff. Let's see. Share this real quick. So you guys all know my spiel on this. For those of you guys that have just popped in and are brand new and haven't sat through any of our live streams yet, this is something that we do every week. We look at USARK, and I want to start off by saying we started the year on a really good note with USARK. There's about 5 bans or really terrible laws that were being proposed that they had managed to find and inform us about, gave us the means to make our voices heard down there regarding those things, and all 5 of them got killed. So that's a great thing. Those were the, let's see, starting back here. Yeah, there was stuff going on in Arizona and Colorado, in Washington and Florida and Louisiana were the big ones that we ended up, because of public pressure, they ended up getting that stuff knocked down. And we have got, it wasn't too long after that, coming right on the heels of that, was a couple more. A West Hollywood animal sales ban, and of course this issue that we've got going on with the bulbs. I know a couple people have addressed this with incandescent light bulb bans. I really don't think that they're going to be successful having every one of them banned. There are agricultural grow lights and stuff like that are still on the market. So I'm going to guess, I know a couple of the big manufacturers are starting to get involved in that too. So probably going to get animal husbandry lighting, probably put into that same category. I just can't see them banning them entirely. Too many captive animals depend on those. So let's see. Something else is saying West Mifflin, PA. It looks like, based on what I've seen, kind of what it says here, just scanning over, it looks like that was knocked out based on the update from June 18th. Again, one where I guess they had a really big turnout up there at the council meeting. So again, man, if you guys aren't currently supporting USARK, strongly encourage you to do so, man. They really do great things for us. You've really got 2 alternatives. You either support an organization like USARK that does all this legwork, or you start devoting about 5-10 hours a week to reading through every state's legislation, and we can find that stuff ourselves, which isn't a good idea. So much easier to just go in to USARK, drop a $40 membership, and get a t-shirt, and then just pay attention to what they come up with for us. So they couldn't make it any easier on us if they wanted to. Anything that we're going to be able to do to impact it, whether it's writing letters, making phone calls, emails, any of that stuff, going to these meetings, they are right on top of it, and they tell us exactly what we need to do. So enough of that. If you guys aren't already a USARK supporter, get on it. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a no-brainer. It's one of those things that you won't even notice. Why are you so crazy? I need to get Monty up here since she wants to roam all over the house. Get her up here and get her a little bit more exercise. I think I might put you back in a second because I can't even move the mouse to read comments. Such a brat. Yeah, it's kind of bad here too because I mean it's getting to the point where it's even too hot to take the snakes outside. I don't like taking it. Like if it's over 90 degrees outside, I don't like taking them out. I know in the wild they probably are exposed to 90 plus degrees on a regular basis, but in captivity they're used to their little comfortable cages. What are you doing? And that's one thing about snakes too, is they will do a lot better being a little cool than they will be being a little hot. I might actually have to put together like a chart or something like that where you can kind of see what temperature ranges they start having adverse effects on either side of it. That might be a cool thing. What do you guys think? Jump down the comments here and let me know. Do you think I should put out a video about Jay and all of that stuff? Like a big call out video, just encouraging everybody to contact him in one way, shape, or form. Just get it in his face somehow, saying, "Look, dude, you got to stop fighting the snakes," and and counteracting everything that we do to put these animals in the best light possible. I mean, of course, I'd put a lot more thought into it, but what's that? Oh, no. Well, yeah, you definitely need to get screened if you've got a family history for it. Hopefully all that stuff goes well. I just went down and got my full lung cancer screening through the VA. And they told me I'm good to go. Come back and see us in a year. It's like, cool. That's a big plus. Let's see. Yeah, Fax was saying he'd really like that. No, I'm actually, Fax was talking about Chandler maybe supporting FWC bans or something like that. I'm not familiar with what his position is. I don't really keep up with him. Too busy trying to hold down our own fort here to be spending a whole lot of time following everybody else. But I would be curious about what bands he supports. I'm opposed to bans. I'm not necessarily opposed to regulations, but yeah, outright bans. Let's see. Really? Yeah. Yeah, if you get an opportunity, man, send me over the if you got any of that stuff documented or stories about it that talk about bands that he's helped to introduce, send them over to my Facebook. I'd be curious to read up on those. Come on, girl. Being crazy. Hey, Greg and Betty, how you doing? Yeah. Greg was saying he'd stop watching it just because he tries to get the snakes to react and he doesn't know the lecture would do any good. I don't know that it would do any good either. I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's been, I mean, like me personally, it's been a sore spot for me for years. I'm all about, put out what you want and all that other stuff. But there just comes a point in time where it seems like people actively work against the community doing stuff like that. And, because even on my male retake's worst day, on his grumpiest day, even, like a month ago when he came out of the enclosure at me, it was still one of those things where, he came out, he did his little strike. He wanted to look tough for a second and be left alone. So I left him alone for a couple minutes, went in there with the hook, nudged him over, picked him up, handled him. No problem at all. I mean, it's always possible one of your snakes are going to strike at you for any number of reasons. But you just don't sit there and fight them like that and egg them on and make them look like that. That's bad form for everybody. Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing to take into consideration too. I mean, especially here the last few weeks when I've been kind of struggling on getting content out myself. Channel views and all that stuff has slowed down. Of course, it's summertime too, so a lot more people are outside doing stuff instead of sitting around watching YouTube. But myself included, which doesn't help. But I don't know, man. Sometimes it has to do with, what good would it really do with the reach of the channel? Until I get to the point where my videos are getting like 100, 200,000 views a piece, then, 500 people see it. That hits 500 people, and it doesn't really tend to go much further than that. So I don't know. It's something to think about. My big thing on stuff like that is I really like to get, if I think about doing something like that, I'd really like to have the consensus of the community. If everybody is kind of on the same sheet of music and they're saying, yeah, this is kind of something that we'd like to see change, then I feel comfortable going out and stepping up and saying something about it and putting some stuff out and really putting together something solid on it, that people can share around. I try not to go off just because something I may personally disagree with it, because it's nobody cares about what we think personally. It's what the whole community wants in this perspective here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, facts. We was just talking about that Vans ad earlier. John from Tipping Scales is in here. He did a video on that. Really good one that you should go check out. And I've got to start working. you guys that keep up with me on Facebook, I'm sure you see all the new photos that are coming out from the photography practice. Starting here probably this week. Going to start really fine-tuning the videography side of it. And I'm going to switch from doing so many photos to going out and working with video now. And kind of, just like any other elephant, you eat it one bite at a time. And I feel like I've got a pretty good grip on the photography part of it, just from the perspective of, camera settings and stuff like that. I've been pretty regularly being able to catch some really good bird in flight shots that are looking really good. So, and that's about one of the hardest things you can do. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. So now, and just really quickly, this last video, I just kind of threw up the green screen really quick and threw up a video that I took up in the mountains of the stream and all that stuff behind me. And the focus and everything on that green screen was so bad. So I've really got to start working a little bit more diligently on getting that cleaned up and getting it right. So we're getting there. Have you guys seen the video footage on that little zoo tour that I put up the other day? That was all shot off the same camera that I'm using here, this Canon M50 Mark II, on my gimbal. And I was really surprised. I was using this, actually, it was the same wide angle lens that I used to shoot these. And man, got out there in that field and got that gimbal hooked up and just started running around all over the place, man. And that video was so smooth. Absolutely loved it. So I've got to start doing some more stuff. And there's a lot of other really cool animals out there as well that I'd really like to start getting a little bit more stuff done. Like, I think the hardest one to work with, though, has got to be the kinkajou. That thing is a little insane. Just he's insane. It's the funniest thing. And a thief, I mean, that thing, when it comes out, it'll start going through pockets and taking stuff and taking it back to its nest and all that stuff. They're just such a trip. So maybe at some point we'll be able to get some decent footage of him and talk about kinkajous a little bit. But oh, let's see where we're at. Yeah, see that? Yeah, Nicole still talking about Jay with the gators. Yeah, he's done some really crazy things with the alligators out there. Let's see. What you got, Judd? Know if anyone here vends Show Me Reptiles venue. Their website recently got a marketplace page set up, $25 a month fee for sellers to list animals and supplies. Oh, cool. That's cool. And John says, I think you still have a general consensus on stuff like that. Usually reaches a lot. Yeah. I think that's, like I said, I've been on the fence about it. I don't want to just go off on people, but I think there's enough people now that kind of feel the same way. That's like, you know what, dude? Yeah. You're popular. You're famous out there on the West Coast now. So why don't you just chill out and start acting like a responsible adult? Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's some of the. I'm really proud of some of the pictures that I've gotten, and I've seen that the way I edit it doesn't transfer really well onto like social media and stuff. Like I'll come in and these pictures look perfect on the computers, but I upload them to like Facebook or something, and I'm noticing they're looking kind of dark. So I've got to see if I can tweak that a little bit. But see, I've got 3 different monitors here with 3 different resolutions. So it's kind of hard to tell which one's right. That's one thing I need to tweak, is get a monitor and get it calibrated so that I can, make sure that it's working just right. And the colors are represented the way they're supposed to. Jace, how you doing, man? That's okay. I was a couple minutes late too. Hey. Yeah, it's I'm really digging this, man. And I'll tell you, one thing that I'm finding that I didn't expect as I've been doing this stuff is I've been kind of religiously going out after work. There's this one lake that I found out here where there's always like geese and ducks and herons and stuff, and some smaller species. So I go out after work and just kind of run around out there, wait to get some really good shots. A couple other places, one of them, it's like a 5-mile hike by the time you get all done, out to a heron breeding area, where you can go out and get some really good shots. But yeah, I mean, it's really good exercise because you find yourself walking and walking and walking. And this camera bag that I've got, I swear that thing weighs just as much as a rucksack that I carried in the Army, if not more. So it's really good for getting in shape too. I've gotten myself to the point now where I've lightened my load a little bit. I made a sling for my tripod, put that thing over my back, and just hand carried my camera. Because at 51 years old, it'll take me a little while to get back into the ruck march. And to being able to do ruck marches anymore. Yeah, thanks, man. And he was talking about how good the footage looked. It was a lot of it looked really good. I was really surprised. I mean, one of them, there was one set in there where I was out with the emus, and it was walking back, and I'm walking downhill backwards with this gimbal, kind of jostling all over the place, and I didn't think that footage was gonna be anything at all. But I mean, it was smooth as butter all the way down. So and I'm gonna end up doing some more stuff out there too. Like I said, I'm out there every weekend now, so um, I want to put together something that's a little bit more polished. One thing that I didn't do in that video is I didn't really have any selfie stuff in there, any kind of interacting. So I may end up setting up the tracking gimbal out there one day, and just getting some some cool footage interacting with the animals and stuff like that. So it'll be cool. It's a really good opportunity to kind of diversify the content a little bit and bring more people in that have got more interests, different animals, things like that. Talk about some other stuff that people may be considering getting and why it may or may not be a good idea. Because a lot of these things, man, they're really cute and they look cuddly, but they're like little vicious gremlins that ate after midnight. I mean, it's just like the prairie dogs that we got here. I mean, even as long as we've had them, the male, I can interact with him just fine. He's happy. He loves the attention. The female, I'll scratch her for 30 seconds, and she just goes absolutely insane, wants to bite me. Them little claws come in, and I mean, it will draw blood in a hurry. So there's a lot of considerations with some of these other exotics. They can be trickier to keep than some people may think. I mean, even like the fox. Let me pull up this video. It's still on my phone, but I posted it on Facebook earlier. Let me get this over here. Come on. I don't know how big I'm going to be able to make these photos on here, but there we go. There's one. It's our little water snake that was hanging out with us today. So, and you guys all get to see my Facebook page. Whee! There it is. Okay. Yeah, those little guys are adorable. Little silver fox kits. And that's another one of those things where they're so similar to cats and dogs. People might think it's an awesome idea to try and get one, but they make very bad house pets. Extremely terrible house pets. But they are really, really cool to interact with. They're crazy. Let's see. Hey, James. Good to see you, man. See, have I done a video on the pros and cons of breeding reticulated pythons? What happens if you don't breed females? I have not, because I don't breed. Maybe at some point. I mean, I do have access. I've got some friends that are top-notch breeders of retic specifically. So I could definitely start picking their brains and getting some stuff. I mean, that may be one of those things where I may just call them up and see if they want to jump in and do a recorded session talking about breeding retics. Because there's a whole lot more to it, and I don't want to make a layman's video on it. Like I said, my stuff is mainly just handling and reading behaviors. And it's the stuff that I do is, and it makes me wonder how I managed to get 300 videos out of all this stuff. But, mine is just from an interactive standpoint, really. I've still got a lot to learn about the genetics that I don't even know if I want to learn most of it. because I don't really have any intention of breeding. And but you know, I learn about the animals that I have, and I try not to talk about things that I'm not well versed in. So for something like that, it'd be a good idea for me to go ahead and bring them in, let them talk about it, because they can address it in a much more well-educated way than me. See, he's on a trip to Virginia. Woke up nose to nose with a Coatimundi. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, Greg was saying he was on a trip in Virginia and laid down, woke back up, and there's Coatimundi in his face. There are two Coatimundis out there at the zoo, and they're both kind of crazy. They're kind of easy to interact with through the cage and stuff like that, but when they come out, they can be something else. Yeah, it was cool, man. There's a whole lot of potential to do stuff with that. And plus it's marketing for the zoo too, because they've got an Airbnb out there, like I said in the video, which is really cool. You know, up on one side of the property, there's just like a really tiny cabin up there. I think it sleeps 6 or 7, something like that. So folks will go out. There's, you know, all kinds of space out there for them to hang out, do cookouts, whatever they want to do. And then, you know, they could just walk down the path right there and start playing with the animals, get tours with everybody. It'd be really cool to go out there one of these days with the big snakes, take a couple of those, because they've got snakes out there. They've got a ball python and a black rat snake, tortoise. I think that's about it. You know, so you'll see folks down there, you know, handling the ball python, and maybe hadn't handled snakes before, but I think it'd be really cool to get some of the big animals out there. You know, the tegu, the Nile monitor, you know, a couple of big retics or something like that. Just have them kind of hanging out for a day and letting people see them. The only thing is that with all the other animals running around that snakes like to eat, I'd have to keep a really close eye on them. Monty is big enough now where she could put down one of them goats, and we definitely don't want that. That might traumatize some kids if they see her getting hold of a goat out there. Hey Panther, how you doing? Oh yeah, Coatimundis are really awesome. Awesome looking animals. Let's see. Judd says she's seen a news story yesterday about kinkajous abandoned in the Yakima area in Washington State. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's so sad, man. I would venture to guess, knowing how spicy these little guys are, it probably wouldn't abandon. It probably just decided to take off. Found something to jump out through and then just took off. Hey Tyler, how you doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, those fox kits out there are something else. And the runt of the litter, sadly enough, I don't know what it is with the runts, but this one is the biggest troublemaker out there. And apparently one of her older siblings decided they'd had enough and took a big bite out of her neck. So that is the one that's the house fox now. And she's being cared for until her neck heals up. But yeah, they're no fun to have in the house. They are, but they're not. But she's healing up pretty well. So. Oh, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Chase is asking what gimbal I use. Well, let me put this spoiled little girl back and I'll show you. Down. Crazy. Come on. All right. Yeah, and I do at some point, Chase, I plan to do a video on. Yeah, this is the bag that I was. Let me get this out of the way so you guys can actually see. This is the camera bag that. So when I picked this up, I was looking at several of them, and this is like the large version. I was first looking at the medium one. I was like, well, that'd be fine, but maybe I'll just get the big one just to see. I can keep other stuff in there. I can't keep other stuff in there. It's all camera stuff in here. Even the water bottles on the outside. But the tripod, the monopod, audio equipment in here, cabling in there. Up top is where I've got. Get up there. I guess I'll see you when you open this thing up real quick. Odds and ends. My spare lenses. This is the beast that I've been taking those bird pictures with. So this thing is awesome. But the problem is using that crop sensor camera, this is a pretty slow lens. It's only an f5 at 150 millimeters to f6.8, I think, at 600 millimeters. So it's not, you've got to have bright direct sunlight in order for this stuff to be good, because this little crop sensor camera doesn't handle low light well. So if you're in low light with that lens, you've got a ton of noise and you got to do a whole bunch of post processing to make it decent. But this is the gimbal that I use for it. And it comes with another tripod, a small tripod that comes out here, but I've got the quick releases on all my stuff. So, matter of fact, I don't know. I've got, yeah. So if you're doing anything with cameras, man, you got a bunch of different stuff. These little quick releases are awesome because that means you don't have to sit here and mess with the little screws. All you gotta do is go ahead and click that thing in there. I've got these on all my tripods, and when you go to take the camera off, you just pull that thing. It's awesome because there's nothing worse than trying to mess around with all that stuff when you're trying to catch something. But without going into too much detail on this thing, essentially what you do is you just set the camera up here and you can balance the thing before you turn it on. Yeah, see, it's not balanced right now, so it's going crazy. Oh, stop. But anyway, once you balance it, then you got a couple different settings where it'll hold it level or it'll follow you, but it just pans really slowly and stuff. This with the image stabilization is great. And this little sensor, it's cool. It's a little magnetic thing. But this is the tracking sensor on it. So I can set this thing up, have the camera balanced, give it a gesture, and it'll just start following me around anywhere I go. So it'll be really cool to get out and really start using that stuff at the zoo more. Interacting with these different animals and just kind of showing their behaviors and stuff. But yeah, this is a Hohem MT2. But if you're going to use it, you got to make sure there's two different ones. And I guess I'll show you this one while I'm here. The first one that I got a year ago or so, and I didn't have the camera. I was using my cell phone. There's a smaller version of it that you can use just for your cell phones. So same thing. Clip your phone in there, and you can mount it. You can either use it for video stabilization, and it's got the same tracking sensor on it. So I got that, and it wasn't too long after that I upgraded the camera equipment and needed a bigger gimbal anyway. So this is kind of set in there collecting dust. But I do need to bring that thing back out because it'd be kind of cool to get two different cameras going. You know, I use a Galaxy S21 Ultra. So it still does fairly decent video. like I said, I ran a YouTube channel for 1.5 years, 2 years, just off of this phone right here. So it'd be cool for doing an additional B-roll or something like that, maybe. But there again, when we start talking about gear, this being a crop sensor camera, like I said, from a photography standpoint, I'm starting to add some of this stuff to the website, and I'm still tweaking the website. I'm probably going to spend some more time tomorrow really fine-tuning some stuff on it. It's intrepidexotics.com. So I just got it started and got some basic content on there, and we're going to start adding some different things to it. And, it'll be really good. It's going to be a combination of the, supporting the YouTube channel on part of it. Part of it's going to be to showcase wildlife photography, because I want to start doing stuff like selling prints of all that stuff too, so we can see if we can start generating some more income off of it. And then, like I said, I'm just going to slowly start adding some more stuff to it. Let's see. So anyway, yeah, that was the gimbal. That thing's awesome. It'll set you back like $250 or something like that. But if you're filming by yourself and trying to do anything where you're up and down and moving and stuff, I can set that thing up in the backyard and put on the lav mic and just do anything, and the camera will follow me. If I've got to reach down and pick up a snake and I want the camera to track and see what I'm doing, then that thing's on point. So, yeah. Oh, hey, Bill, how you doing, man? Got a fairly large 4-year-old berm and building a new enclosure and would like to put some plants in there. Any idea what plants would be safe to put in there with her? If there's anybody in the chat that has any suggestions on what plants would be good to put in with a big snake, by all means, jump down there. I am not a plant guy, especially when it comes to big snakes. Like I said, eventually when we get in a place where we can expand, I was hoping it was going to happen earlier. It was hoping for earlier this summer, but no dice. Said, so we're just going to keep driving on, and it'll happen when it happens. But what I currently don't have any live plants in with any of mine. So if anybody has any good ideas about what plants can be put in with them, by all means, when I get to it, I'll read it out. Yeah, going back to James' remark about breeding. Yeah, I have heard that too, and it's something that I need to become better educated on myself, because my female retic is, of course, of breeding age. I could breed her now if I wanted to. So I do need to get up to speed with that, because I don't have any intention of breeding her. I've got 3 other retics here that I could breed her to if I chose to. But I just don't want to breed right now. So I've got there's an orange glow phantom, possible head ocelot down there. There's marble platinum, and then there's a purple tiger that's 16 feet. So not entirely sure how well that would work. But yeah, I don't have any intention of breeding. Maybe at some point. Yeah, it does, man. Greg was saying Cotamundis look like his raccoon bred with somebody's dash hound. It is pretty on point. I think I've seen that. He's talking about looking up giving snakes their legs back. I think that's the one where they had a snake in a tube or something like that, and it was cruising around. I think it's pretty similar with the males and the females. Oddly enough, this one, the one that's inside right now, is a female, and really has been doing pretty good. I don't know for sure, but like I said, the female seems to be doing awesome from the standpoint of a fox. I would guess it's probably like most other species where the males are a lot worse at marking and stuff like that. Tam, how you doing? Yeah, that's yeah, see, I could see live plants and something like that. Maybe for hognose or ball pythons, garters, stuff like that. But hey, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Let's see, yeah, plants are animal dependent. He says one of his retics enjoys having a lot of cover and avoids trampling them. The other one's a Sherman tank with any plant that he puts in there. I'm absolutely certain that's going to be true because animals are going to react differently. So, yeah, you'll have to, like I said, Chase, at some point, I'd like to do, because I've got an Amazon affiliate account too. So I would like to just kind of collect up all of the affiliate links for all the gear that I use, make a video about it, put all the links down there. So that way if folks want to go in and buy the stuff through the affiliate link, great. I don't know that I would recommend. It depends on what folks are wanting to do too. This particular camera is really good for video. So what I want to do is, after I get these lenses all paid off, and I think the next step is going to be I'm going to upgrade this camera to a full frame camera, and I'll be using this one more for video and then the full frame for more of the photography stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Jeremy is just saying there's a bunch of reptile safe. And I think Jeremy's talking about safe from a standpoint of the health of the snake, not from the standpoint of the ones that the snake won't be able to trample. But Jar Jar, hello, how you doing? Yeah. Any hour work week in this heat will kick your butt, man. It's starting to get oppressive this summer out here. No, I'm really fortunate. I'm not out in it all day long, but I'm out in it long enough to understand how warm it is. Talking about can't wait till your ball python sheds. Some of them will tolerate handling when they're close, like Chloe over here. When she starts going into blue, she doesn't care. She just, if you open up the door, she'll come out, she'll hang out with you. Every now and then she'll curl up and kind of disappear and do her own thing. But it all depends on the snake. Some of them don't mind it. Some of it'll really stress them out. I never handle them really if they're really hazy. Their eyes are really hazy. But, you've got that period where they're getting ready to shed. their eyes will haze over, and then when their eyes clear up, they've got, a few days left, and then they're going to start shedding after that. So. Yeah, if I can do the Amazon affiliate links for the sphagnum moss, I mean, I can do that. I can start putting that stuff in. I need to, because this is one of those things where, I mean, I've got enough of a basis here between what I can put out photography wise and with the channel and the Amazon affiliate stuff. I really need to start getting smart about trying to market some of this stuff and getting this stuff to generate some income, because I'm really tired of the day job, and I would really like to devote, every day being able to work 40 hours a week on the channel, on putting together stuff with the animals and all that. So again, it's just a matter of trying to build up all the different revenue streams until they exceed what I'm making in my day job. And I am not a businessman, so it's all a learning curve moving forward with this stuff. It'll get there eventually, but the big thing is I'm just not one to just start doing stuff until I learn enough about it to where I know that I'm doing the right thing. So some things you can jump into when you start talking about that stuff, I prefer to just kind of walk into it and let it slowly grow so that I don't end up doing the wrong thing, getting something all jacked up. So it'll get there. Oh, let's see. Hey, how's everything? Just got a baby ball python male. When can I handle him? How long should I be handling him? I don't want to have a bad relationship. That, a lot of that stuff kind of depends on the individual snake, man. We've got like the rule of thumb. You get a new snake, you put it in the enclosure, you leave it alone for a week. After a week, you try and feed him, take him out and try and handle him and stuff like that. But of course, you don't do them at the same time, because you try and feed him first, then you don't handle him for a couple days after that. If you handle him first, then you may kind of kick down his food response or something. So it's kind of a toss-up. But I don't know, man. When I get a new snake, I immediately start handling them, and I let them tell me what I should do from there. I'm not going to just throw them in the enclosure and leave them alone for a week, because some animals, depending on where they came from, just like the last one that I got, this marble platy I got from Jeremy at Brassman Reptiles. One of the reasons why he sent him back with me is because the snake's known for being a little bit spicy and taking the occasional shots at people. Well, I was like, oh, okay, cool. A little bit bigger retic than, a little bit bigger snake than Bob that might be a little bit bitey. I brought him home, kind of put him in there next day, went in, had a handling session with him. And, he's got a different personality than the rest of my retics. But, I mean, they've all got their different personalities. So that's to be expected. Never struck at me. He's really energetic, and he looks like he's getting ready to come at you. I'll go down there, man, and he'll shoot straight up to the glass and just start following me. And I've seen so many snakes before that do that. And as soon as you open the glass, man, they lunge out at you. He's never done that. He'll come up to the glass, he'll follow me, I'll open it up, and then he'll just kind of sit there. He either does that, or he just comes straight out to me, and he'll be like fully extended straight out, and I'll back up a little bit, and he'll just keep coming. And I'm not worried about him striking at me, because he's fully extended. He's got no he couldn't strike that far if he wanted to, just because he's not in that position. But like I said, even this little milk snake back here, they take a little bit longer, I think, because they're not quite as bright as your retics and other stuff, and they don't pick up on the fact that they're safe quite as quickly. But Anyway, long and short of all that is, I mean, just listen to the snake, whatever they're telling you through their behavior. If you take them out and you handle them for 15-30 minutes or something like that, and you put them back in and they immediately go and hide and you don't see them again for a while, maybe leave them alone and not do a whole lot of handling sessions. If you're going in there and you handle them, you put them back in and you start seeing them cruising and stuff like that, that's an indicator that you can handle them a little bit more, because they're not showing any signs that they're really afraid. If you scare a snake like that through handling, you put him back, then he's going to go into his hide. So too much handling can stress them out. But on the other side of the coin, too little handling isn't going to get them over that fear of you. So again, it's a balancing act. If you've got snakes that you handle every day, multiple times a day, and they're not eating, stop handling them so much. Cut the handling down to a little bit every other day or something like that, or maybe even once a week. Because there are snakes that just don't like to be handled that much. But again, there's other ones. Any of the ones that I've got in here, even Bob now, I don't handle him a lot, but I might take him out once, twice a week now, and just to kind of maintain that and let him cruise around and stuff. But it's not affecting his eating schedule. He's still eating like a champ and stuff. So I don't know, man, it's really subjective. There's not a right or wrong answer to how much to handle them, because some snakes will get out every day and they're perfectly happy. Some snakes are perfectly happy if you never touched them at all. So it's you just look for those indicators of stress in the animal. If you start to see them, you back off a little bit. And I say that, like I said, man, it's such a weird balancing act with them, because if you've got a new one and they're stressed out, you've got to handle them in order to get them over the stress. Just like the whole thing with Bob, when I first got him, incredibly stressed out, terrified snake. And if I would have just left him in there and left him alone and only handled him once a week, we would have never gotten over that. He'd still be the same way. So, I forced handled him just enough to get him calmed down. And now, he's calmed down. He's more comfortable, more trusting. And then we can get on like a normal handling schedule with him. So you've got to work with him to a certain degree, but you also can't stress them out by doing it too much. So it's, like I said, man, it's so subjective. It's a balancing act. You look at their behavior, look how they're, if they look stressed out, leave them alone for a little bit, let them relax, and then just gently go back in and just try working with them every other day or something like that until they start to get comfortable. So I hate to put numbers on things. Handle them twice a week, handle them once a week. Because like I said, man, every animal is going to be so much different. So. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, and at case in point, some people have their routines. He says 15 minutes twice a day. That may work. That may be too much. It just kind of depends. Depends on the animal. Let's see. I got way far behind on all these. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of comments here. Folks, like I said, the whole leave your snake alone for a week thing. I've even said that too. Or you get a new snake, put it in there, leave it alone. Don't try and mess with it for a week. And that, in a lot of cases, man, what that applies to is you're going to get a lot of younger snakes or newer snakes. Maybe takes them a little bit of time to acclimate to the enclosure. So like when I first started out, I was really like, put them in there, leave them alone for a week. Just let them relax. Don't be all excited with your new animal and wanting to handle them every day, all day long and stuff like that. But it's it's just one of those things where I've seen so many animals come in and have such an easy transition that that week isn't necessary. You know, there's nothing wrong with bringing the animal home. If you know they haven't eaten in the last week, bring it home, put it in the enclosure, offer it food. Yeah, it might eat. If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, don't sweat it. Let them chill out for a week. Just like handling. You know, you can go in and put them in there. If they don't look like they're stressed out, and you can pick them up and handle them. Maybe you can handle them the first day. They're perfectly fine. Maybe they're terrified and you need to really chill out and just let them see you in the same room and stuff for a little while. So it's, oh, Erica made it in. Oh, she's at the Pomona show. Pomona Reptile Show is going on out in California. So Erica should have some cool stuff to show everybody. She's been packed there all day. Great show. Awesome. Fact said milk snakes are the dumbest. You know, I've got one little rivalry with Christina Hill, because every time I say that colubrids aren't as smart as the pythons are, we have a little disagreement about it. She loves her colubrids, and she's got some awesome snakes that are really interactive and really well socialized and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Some of them can be pretty bright. Some of them can be pretty derpy. Yeah, and this is pretty standard too. You know, going back, Jeremy was kind of reiterating the same thing with new keepers not handling for the first 48 hours after their first meal, and that's a good rule of thumb for any snake. You know, after you feed them, leave them alone for a day, two, something like that. Try not to handle right after a meal and just let them sit there and bask and stuff like that. You know, and not feeding them for the first week or so after bringing them home. So I mean, and that's a pretty good. You can't go wrong with that. You know, absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And like I said, for a long time, I was really strict on that same train of thought too. And I think what happens too with that is, you get people talking about, this animal's testy, this animal's a handling challenge and things like that. And then it's happened so many times where people have told me that an animal is a handling challenge and they're not. But so you get your all hopes up, like, oh, we got a fight on our hands here. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if we can make friends. And you get back and it's like, okay, so you're cool too. It's kind of sad about that not being able to stick around today with that water snake. So I wanted to do a wild caught snake handling session with him and see how much I could handle him without getting bit. Hey, Sam says, really love your channel because you truly care about the animals and awareness and their state of mind. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. I think that's, I mean, if you really focus on, trying to understand what's going on in their head, and learning a couple basics about, techniques to go about it and stuff like that, man, it makes them so much easier to work with. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I am more hesitant working with mammals than I am with reptiles. I'll walk up to a stranger 20-foot retic and start working with it and be perfectly comfortable. But ever since my little female prairie dog lost her mind and decided to try and take my finger off, every time I'm messing with a mammal, it's just like, okay, are you gonna try and take a chunk out of me now? Yeah, Jeremy's always got really good input on this stuff because he breeds. He says that first meal in a new surroundings is important for baby ball pythons. Other species not as important. And I can see that because ball pythons are known for being picky eaters. That's the only thing that's kind of a caveat when you talk about, what's the best first snake for somebody? Everybody says ball python. Well, they are from every perspective other than the fact that they can really drive people crazy with their refusing to eat and stuff like that. All right, so we're coming up. I can't believe I actually made it this long. Like I said, I do look rough. I look exactly how I feel tonight, but I wasn't going to punk out. Like I said, I get on there. I was just getting ready to go on to Facebook and say, okay, live stream's canceled tonight. And I was like, nope, not going to do it. So I'm going to get caught up on all of these things here real quick. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Oh, no way. Erica says she didn't buy anything at Pomona. Oh, cool. I'm glad you popped in. Yeah, it's really funny you're talking about you going fishing for your birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. I'm finding that this bird photography is a lot like fishing. Because you sit there by the side of the lake and you just kind of sit there and you wait for something to happen. And when it happens, you get that, 10 seconds of adrenaline and then it's over and you look to see what you got. Oh, wow. That looks rough. Scabby was saying a friend of his is scared of snakes, just got a gnarly cat scratch down his eyebrow. Oh, just missing his eye. I seen missing his eye and I was like, oh man, lost his eye. But no. Yeah, cats are assholes. Yeah, I can't say my snakes have never injured me. I think I've been injured by every animal that I've got at some point. Well, I don't know. And by every species, probably. Because I've been bitten. My animals that have bitten me is Monty got me once. And that was when she was younger. I was standing really close to her enclosure, just kind of hanging a rat. She got all excited, missed the rat, and stuck into my chest. So that's the only time she's ever gotten me. I think Jay, the orange glow, got me one time. I reached in and he just a quick defensive strike. And of course, Niles has got a hold of me a couple times. The prairie dog's got a hold of me. The hedgehog bites me every time I handle him, but it's not bad. She just likes to nibble on everything. I can't really think of too much else here that's really gotten me. I mean, besides Bob, and that don't count. He's bitten me like 100 times. Oh, man. Your cat's named Jackass. Yep. Yeah, they certainly can be. I haven't been by a cat. That sucks. Okay, guys. So we're coming up on 8:30. We have got the Patreon live stream, the Patreon Zoom call that goes live just about 8:30. It's for all of our contributing Patreon members. And we have got to transition over to that pretty soon. So we also started the Discord channel for that as well. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of time to get into that. I need to find out from the Patreon folks kind of how active that's been and stuff like that. Like I said, it's all kind of new stuff that's getting tossed into there with the Discord and the website and all that stuff. Trying to fit all of this into the job and taking care of the animals and still trying to figure out how to get some videos out and stuff like that. So it's not enough hours in the week to get all this stuff done. But it is getting there. But yeah, strongly encourage you guys, if you're interested at all in the Patreon, any paid tier, we all meet up after these live streams on Zoom and of course the Discord. And we'll be getting some other stuff set up here as well here over the course of the summer as we're, like I said, guys, it's all building. It's all a work in progress. But my main thing is I just want to keep it, at the very least, whatever goes on, even if I look like I'm half dead and looks like somebody poured acid in my eye, I just like to keep contact with the community at least once a week. So that's why we'll keep this up. I may end up starting to do some, I may start running some live streams off the phone if I end up having to be on the mountains all weekend long. We may go ahead and do this from there. But we'll see. Like I said, it's so much stuff going on. It's all fun to keep up. Yeah, really, really good to see you, Jeremy. Really hope you're doing good, man. And yes, absolutely. Hit the like button, show some love for the channel. And absolutely, Sam. Yeah, if you guys got any questions or anything like that, then feel free to hit me up on Facebook. And if I've got good answers for you, I'll give them to you. If I don't have good answers, I can find them for you. So that's kind of how we operate here. No, not going to Pisgah. I'm going up west into the mountains. So this is up in the Allegheny area. So yeah, there'll be a lot more videos coming. I want to get a bunch of stuff with the emus because they're just fun to film. They're like little dinosaurs. They're always a blast. So. All right, Erica, you too. Yeah, try and pop in there if you can for a little bit. I am definitely not going to be on there for 3 hours tonight because I actually feel like a baby back biatch tonight. But but we're still going to go in there and hang out for a little bit. So, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I'll get on. I'm guessing you've got that posted in your Facebook. Oh, and it's on Instagram. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys aren't following Jeremy out of World of Wilcox too, man, I strongly encourage you to do that. He's a good dude. He's got awesome setups for his animals out there. He does some YouTube stuff and does some rescue stuff, things like that too. Great guy. Definitely want to follow him. Yeah, I'll definitely have to go check him out. But yeah, guys, it was good to see everybody. Great to hang out. You guys have an outstanding rest of the weekend. Have a safe week. It's going to be hot. Stay hydrated. All that cool stuff. If you've got elderly relatives, neighbors, things like that, make sure you're checking on them. If you're walking around and you hear your elderly neighbor's air conditioner not running, or the light's not on or something like that, you need to be banging on a door and saying, hey, are you okay? It's can definitely be a dangerous situation for folks. Once temperatures start getting up over 95, and then up into the triple digits, we lose people every year to that. So keep an eye on everybody and stay safe. And we'll see you next Saturday. And I'll try and get some stuff out this week too as well. So you guys all take care.